they contacted someone, got them to bring in a snake, and then actually macheted it in half. Now, the snake handler was not told this. So the snake handler was like, here you go, this is Dave. Like, my snake Dave. I've reared him since he was this big.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
They chop him up into little bits. It's real.
Fuck. Cool. Ready?
Yes. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Hello, everyone.
I'm ready now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movies to Drink To. My name is Finn,
I'm Mr. Smith.
and welcome to Camp Crystal Lake. Assuming this green screen is working, otherwise I'm gonna look like a twat. Yeah, we're doing Friday the 13th today, the OG, the original,
Yes.
from 1980. Before we go on, don't forget to subscribe to this, share it, like it, comment.
All of that.
Yes, do all those lovely things. Thank you very much. So, Friday the 13th from 1980, directed by Sean S. Cunningham.
Yep.
It stars Betsy Palmer, Adrian King, Jeannie Taylor, Robbie Morgan, Kevin Bacon, Harry Crosby, son of Bing,
Right.
Laurie Barton, and Mark Nelson. The plot of this beeth.
It is a group of camp counselors trying to reopen a summer camp called Crystal Lake, which has a grim past, are stalked by a mysterious killer.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is the birth of a huge franchise.
Yes, and many a copycat.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, this was a copycat. It was a kind of a rip-off of Halloween.
yeah, but that was where it literally came from,
yeah,
wasn't it? It was
basically.
like, there was a conversation. There was like, Halloween's doing well. Let's do it again.
Let's make a slasher movie.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So our story begins at Camp Crystal Lake in 1958 with some singing
Yes.
about Jesus.
Yeah.
It isn't Kumbaya, but it might as well be.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's all like hallelujah.
Yeah, it's campfire, a campfire sing-along.
Yes, and we have some POV action
We do.
with this film loves, kind of like
quite early
Halloween.
on, we get the birth of.
Yeah. So yeah, this POV shot of somebody watching people sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm watching
Yeah.
you sleep.
Weird. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of kids. I mean, I've got to say, I'm glad that as an English person, we don't have camp. Because this does not make it look attractive. I mean, like throughout this entire film, everything's shot in these horrendous sheds.
Yeah, they look
basically.
shitty as hell.
Yeah, like why? They literally send your kids off. Like, just fuck them off for the summer
To a shack in the woods.
to a shack in the woods. They're probably going to die of pneumonia. It just everything about it just looks really unattractive.
Yeah, what is summer camp actually? If anybody's watching that's been to one as a kid,
Also, is it
please
still a
comment.
thing?
What is it actually like? No, it is still a thing, I
It
believe.
still happens.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there's I did look into it once many years ago where you can, like, we can apply to work at
Camp
summer
America.
camps. Yeah, Camp
I know.
America.
I know people have done it. I think my cousin did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go and be a
counsellor.
camp counselor.
Yeah, and get murdered.
But yeah, it's a weird concept. I mean, I don't really understand it. Our parents, I mean, I was going to say our parents wanted to spend time with us, but that's not true.
No,
I mean,
we were just let out into just
yeah,
go outside and play.
Go
yeah.
away, yeah. Just come back when you're tired and go to bed.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the two of the Jesus-loving kids, they're making bang me eyes at each other.
They are.
Yep. So they go off to bang.
They do.
They don't love Jesus that much. Then they're faking it. Their love for Jesus. They want
Yeah.
sex, premarital sex. Oof, nice. And the POV walks in on them.
Yeah.
They are rumbled.
But it's a weird like thing, like they're kind of hooking up or whatever, and the girl goes, "Oh, does Marianne kiss as well as I do?" So suggesting that this guy's basically banged all the other counselors.
Player.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all, but she's like all right with it.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, does Marianne kiss as well as I do?" Pretty sure I can do better. Like
He's the only one that actually like bangs.
Yeah.
All the others love Jesus too much. So he's like the only active dick in the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who Marianne was, like, but she's probably
A
I mean,
slut.
there must be a cut scene where Marianne's like, but yes, so they go up into like a barn.
Yeah.
somewhere.
They are rumbled. The boy is stabbed in the guts,
Yes.
and the girl is attacked by slow motion.
Yeah, her name is Claudette, apparently. I only found this out because, she doesn't have a name, like, technically, but, like, if you watch with the captions on,
Oh, Claudette. So,
Claudette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
That it's not interesting. It means nothing.
No.
But that is her name.
She is killed off screen, though.
Well, it's slow motion and freeze frame.
Yeah, then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a great use of slow motion either. It's like literally this like and it goes on for too long. And then freeze frames and you just assume she's dead.
Yeah. Then we cut to Friday the 13th, the present.
Yes. The press.
It says the present. Like,
I'm a big fan of when they used
why?
like this film is only going to be seen for this year.
Yeah. I don't know why this was. They've stopped doing it now.
Yeah. But you
don't-
can't. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. But what did we watch? Was it? I can't remember. There was
When we
another
watched Barbed
film.
Wire. It was like in the year 2017, the future. Oh
It
god.
was Blade Runner as well. Isn't that set in like fucking like in a few years?
Blade Runner is set in like 2020 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So in present day, but also 1980.
Yeah.
It's
Frank's
Friday.
Delicatessen
Yeah.
looks pretty closed. This entire town looks really closed.
Yeah.
Like
There's
nothing going on.
a girl hiking into town.
Yeah.
And she walks into town. She sees a dog, and she mistakes the boy dog for a girl. She misgenders the dog
But she's quick to like
when she spots his dick. She literally's like, "How you doing, girl? Whoa, sorry, boy."
sorry, didn't see the massive penis.
The big dog dick. Didn't spot. I'm already sorry if I offended you. Did you assume my gender?
It is such a weird thing. Yeah, it's an odd like dialogue choice.
Yeah. She walks into a diner where everyone is shifty as fuck.
It's the only place in town that has any people in it.
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, literally everyone that lives there is in this one diner, stroke newsagents,
Yeah. Stroke bar.
but yeah,
Everything.
the one shop.
Yeah. She walks in and says, "Oh, I'm heading to Camp Crystal Lake. How far is it?" And they're like, "You mean Camp Blood?"
Yeah,
But at first they all do the sort of what's it, American Werewolf in London thing.
Yeah.
Where everyone goes silent. Whoa.
Blake in the corner playing the piano.
Stops.
But it's not even utilized very well because they do kind of stop and stare, but then they're instantly like normal. Not normal.
Yeah.
I mean, normal's a strong word.
They get over it very
Yeah,
quickly.
they get over it very quickly, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to camp?" Yeah, that one woman's like Camp Blood, which weirdly didn't become a franchise until much later on.
And there's a truck driver in there, and he agrees to give her a lift. Well, sort of
is this Enos?
half the way. Yeah, halfway there. On the way, that he's also a bit of a perv. He's instantly like, "Is everyone at camp gonna look as smoking as you?" Whatever the line is.
everyone, all the girls going to be as hot as you. It's like, I don't know, but you should stay away.
Yeah, you're like middle-aged, overweight, and gross.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck, 17.
And she's like,
you're so
No,
funny. Just
yeah.
give me a lift.
thanks, Captain Rapey.
And
But yeah, he does a couple of like that entire journey. I was like, don't get in the car with him.
But on the way to his truck, they bump into Doomsayer Ralph.
Yes, who is clearly like an ancestor of the guy from Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, so when we did Jason Takes Manhattan, there is Doomsayer Deckhand,
Yeah.
who's just a guy that goes around saying, "You're all doomed!"
Even looks similar.
Yeah. But in this original one, we have Ralph, who is pretty much the same character.
Yep.
It's like, "Off to Camp Blood, are ya? It's got a death curse!
You'll never come back again.
Yeah, you're gonna die!" And he's like, "Oh, Ralph, knock it off. Leave him alone." And so the truck driver, he puts, is this Annie, is her name?
Annie.
Annie into the cab, gets a nice feel of her ass.
He does.
Ooh,
It
there
helps
you go,
her
lady.
like that. Like it's not even in the script. He's just like, there you go.
And Doomsayer Ralph, he rides off on his little bike.
Yep.
He looks hilarious. He's got his little yeah.
Like, was it from the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, wicked Richard.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
You're
But yeah, he
doomed.
disappears off into the distance. But it does make that character in Jason Takes Manhattan a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, like is there like He's like, my father was a doomsayer.
Yeah.
And his father
It's
before him.
Yeah. We are a family of doomsayers.
Yeah. We just go around saying people are doomed, and sometimes we get lucky, and they are indeed doomed. But usually everyone just thinks we're fucking nuts. Just walking around Walmart, you're doomed!
If I say you're doomed to enough people,
Someone's
I'm
gonna
be
die.
right. Sometimes immediately afterwards.
Yeah. Those we call them the money shots.
Family of doomsayers. That's amazing.
Anyway, on the drive there, the truck driver tells Annie to quit.
Yep.
It's like some bad shit went down there. A kid drowned. 2 kids were murdered. Fires. No one knows who did it.
And then she's like, there's something you're not telling me.
Yeah. And then
No, I have.
Yeah. He calls her dumb, and she says, well, at least I'm not afraid of ghosts. He's like, you're not listening to me, are you? At no point did I mention ghosts.
No, literally.
No one's mentioned ghosts.
People have died.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
Like in the real world.
Oh, dear. Anyway, he drops her off near-ish the camp. He doesn't take her all the way.
No, he drops her off like by a cemetery, like by a
Yeah,
graveyard.
on a crossroads. He's got to go off. He's got to carry on trucking.
I know. And it does seem like one of those things where like she gets out and there's a graveyard in the background and you're like, ooh,
Is
what
that
does
going to
that
be a
mean?
thing?
Nothing.
Nothing. No, it's never seen again. No. Anyway, cue some hillbilly music. Which
Yes.
doesn't fit in the film at all. I forgot about this. And we got a car of teens, including Kevin Bacon, making their way to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yes, like the banjo music in the background. And then is this, what's his name? Ed? No, Ned.
You got
Ned.
Bill and Ned.
Ned. And he instantly establishes himself as a massive dickhead.
Yes.
Because he's like, do you reckon there's going to be females I might be able to bang?
Yeah.
They're like, no, Ned.
This is to
There
Kevin.
probably will be females, but not for you.
Kevin Bacon and Marcy, is it?
Marcy,
Kevin
yeah.
Bacon's girlfriend.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, they're heading there. At the lake, we've got Alice and Steve. And
Yes.
Steve is doing manly work.
He is chopping a tree stump that is clearly not in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, he's like throwing an axe into the ground next to it.
Topless.
And he's like, guys, can you give me a hand with that? And they all turn up and like
Yeah.
push it over. There you go. It was never.
Yeah. So we get to the camp. They're basically still building the place. And
but what's it? Enos has established that apparently this is Steve. Like his parents owned the camp before him. And they put some money into it, or say like, and he goes, he's going to end up just like his folks, like broke and insane, or something. So like, this sounds like an interesting setup. Like,
Yeah.
Steve's parents have obviously lost their minds putting all their money into
Yeah.
Camp Crystal Lake. It's not important.
no, it's never mentioned.
That's it.
Steve's something of a nothing character. We never
Yeah.
meet his parents.
Nope.
No backstory. Well,
Nothing
no,
at all.
Yeah, nothing.
It would probably make for an interesting film.
Yeah. But it's not the one we got.
No.
Then we have a scene with Steve and Alice. Steve likes Alice's drawings, and there's some kind of history between them. I
This
think.
is horrendously awkward. Like this whole scene is, he's basically looking at her etchings.
Yes.
He's like
It's a drawing of him.
He goes, "You're very talented and very pretty." And it's like, he's like, "Do I look like this?" She goes, "Well, you did yesterday." So yeah, and then he's like, and then she kind of says that she's not keen on staying.
Yeah, she wants to go back to California.
Yeah, so I think we're supposed to be like, oh, she could have left. But yeah, it's a whole weird fucking back and forth. And he's like, all right, give me till the end of the week.
To what?
No, if you're still uncomfortable
Around me.
if I still weird you out at the end of the week, then you can go.
He's like that guy we talked about.
Which one?
The
Oh
bold
yeah,
one.
yeah, literally that.
Yeah. Give me a week, any girl will fall in love with me.
Let me wear you down.
Yeah. By the way, I have another YouTube channel. Check that out.
Yeah, if by Friday you're still weirded out by me, I'll put you on the bus myself.
Yeah.
Like, and he does this whole like strokes her hair. She should have left.
Yeah, I don't. What's
And she
going
even
on?
pulls a face where she's like,
Yeah.
this is weird.
What is? Maybe they're establishing like he's like a red herring. He could be the killer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's not done very well.
No.
Like, I've got to be honest. But it does like establish him as like, I don't know. I mean, this was like 1980, so blokes being weird was acceptable.
Yeah, I mean the 70s had just happened.
Yeah.
Where all men were creepy and noncy.
Yep.
So who knows?
entirely.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
we cut to some more POV action, and they're watching Alice as she walks over and she chats to.
She runs through the woods. Have you noticed the way you know that episode of Friends with Phoebe, like
Yeah.
running for? This is how Alice runs. Like, and she does it later on as well. Like, you're literally like from the POV.
Panicky woman.
Yeah,
But nothing's happening.
like later on, it's like the POV of the killer or whatever, and you're just like. But yeah, she does this whole weird arm run.
Yeah, she goes to chat to some guy, then she walks back through the woods, and obviously this is all shot from the point of view of the stalker, the watcher, the killer. Yeah. How does Alice not see them?
She walks right by
yeah,
them.
right by
like this far.
Yeah, not even like really hidden behind a tree.
Literally, they're not even trying to hide. They're like this. Literally, somebody just stood out in the open, like.
It's like, hey, who are you? Somebody there with a camera. Oh, sorry.
Not even hiding behind a tree.
No.
Like, just like. Oh, they didn't see me.
Wow, these kids are dumb.
This should be easy.
Yeah. Then later on, Ned, he nearly kills another one of the kids with a bow and arrow because he's a
Brenda.
prick. That's it. Yeah, he nearly kills Brenda.
Yeah, nearly kills Brenda. And she's like, "Oh, Ned."
Yeah. Oh, you're such a
You big kidder. You nearly impaled me with an arrow. And he does this terrible, I think it's a Bogart impression.
Yeah. Oh, was it Cagney?
Oh, it might be Cagney.
I think it's
don't know. It's like some weird fuck it. So I don't. Are we supposed to accept that he's the comedy?
He's the comic relief of
He's
the
the
film.
comic relief.
Yeah.
He's not
The prankster in every like horror film.
Yeah, and you're literally from that moment. Well, from the minute he turns up in the van with Kevin Bacon, you're like, I can't wait till you die.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he nearly kills Brenda, and she forgives him instantly.
Yes, because he's a bit of a jokester.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Annie is still making her way to the camp.
Days later.
Hiking, because people just hiked across America in like 1980. Didn't matter.
Well, yeah, apparently, like, thumbing a lift or hitchhiking was a thing.
More of a thing.
Which is why there's so many movies about hitchhikers dying.
Yeah. Nowadays, we just have Uber.
Yeah.
So it's hitchhiking regulated. So you're less likely to die.
It is kind of the same thing.
Contact
You're still getting into a stranger's car.
Yeah, Uber is contact a stranger over the internet, then get in their car with them.
Yeah. Rather than just being like...
Yeah. Anyway, so she's making her way to camp still, and she's picked up by a car. A Jeep comes along and picks her up.
Yes.
And it drives straight past the lake and starts speeding. So Annie's like, what the fuck? And she jumps out of the Jeep as it's moving.
Throws herself out.
Yeah, lands, she's fine. Not a stunt woman, by the way.
No, actual
Yeah, because it carries on rolling. She gets up and it's still her, all in one shot. The driver stops and chases her into the woods, POV style, to music that sounds a lot like the music from Psycho, and the music that sounds like, the music from Reanimator that sounds like the music from Psycho.
Right.
This sounds like that. But
Didn't
not
the
as good
music
as
from
either.
Reanimator was deliberately made to sound like the music from Psycho?
Yeah.
To the point where they nearly sued.
Yeah, and this sounds like both of them.
Yeah.
But not as good as either. Then Annie is killed. She has her throat slit, and she gasps and breathes an awful lot for someone who's had their throat slit. Her throat's been slit. She's like, fuck!
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can't breathe if that's happened to you.
I mean, to be fair, for its day, it's not a bad effect.
It's not, that one isn't too bad.
It's
Yeah.
all right.
For
Like,
the budget and its day, yeah.
yeah.
Back at the lake, the teens are horsing around on the water as the POV killer looks on because they've
Out in the open again.
Yeah. Also, they've got back to the lake like that.
Isn't one of them? It's Brenda's. Like, I thought, what's wrong? I was like, I thought I saw something, and they're like, just clearly somebody just like,
Just picks up a branch.
yeah. No, I didn't see any. Yeah, one leaf. Oh no, it was just a leaf hovering.
I thought I saw a cameraman over there. No, it's the boom mic operator's mic is still sticking out. Like, hide it. They can see you. Yeah. Jesus.
But yeah, so Ned.
Yeah, one of them, Ned, because he's such a jokester, pretends to drown.
And he goes for it as well, like literally, full on. He's underwater for a good. I mean, if we're going in real time, I mean this is a movie, but if you're going in real time, he's underwater for long enough to be brain dead.
Maybe that explains
But he was
it.
already brain dead. Yeah. So yeah, they Brenda like dives down, like brings him up. And
When they're bringing him up onto the pontoon, and they're about a foot away from getting him up on there. Alice runs along and chucks a rubber ring. Just like Ned plop. They're like, well, that's pointless. And then they bring him up. And he's like pretending to be pretending to be unconscious.
Commits to the bit.
Yeah. Until he's given mouth to mouth and he starts snogging Brenda.
Yeah, and you can see it coming, and you're almost like, don't. There it is. Like, I mean, that's assault.
I mean, you would drown him for real, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
After that,
I mean, but
you
again,
go straight to fucking Steve. Like, Steve, we've got a problem. Ned is a cunt. We all hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he'd nearly killed Brenda.
Yeah.
Like with a bow and arrow.
Assaulted her.
Like, but she's fine with it. Now he's pretended to die so he can snog Brenda. I mean, hang on, Brenda might be an issue. Brenda's a fucking idiot.
Sure, forgiving him. Later on, Alice finds a snake in her cabin, and everyone shows up, and they have a complete fucking paddy and end up trashing the whole place.
Yeah, they smashed the fuck
They're
out of the
literally
place.
falling over each other, like, oh my god, a snake! Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon's complete, and then he's like jumping over the bed and throwing it over. This goes on for way too long until
Even
Bill...
the snake's like, whoa!
Yeah. What's going on?
I'm just passing through.
Yeah, they're having a complete meltdown. And it carries on for fucking ages until Bill machetes the thing to death.
This is a real snake.
Ooh.
Like, I looked this up
That's
because I was
illegal.
like, that. I mean, that looks pretty
It's still
convincing.
moving, yeah.
Yeah. But apparently, so the thing was, the guy who did the effects.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. While they were filming, one night there was a snake got into his shack or whatever, and he was like, "That would make for a great scene." So they contacted someone, got them to bring in a snake, and then actually macheted it in half. Now the snake handler was not told this. So the snake handler was like, "Here you go, this is Dave. Like my snake Dave. I've reared him since he was this big."
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
"Whoa!" They chop him up into little bits. It's real.
Fuck.
Because I was like, that is convincing as fuck.
Yeah.
Like for 1980.
Yeah.
So I like literally paused the film and I looked this up. Yeah, it's real. And apparently, like they had to pay a bit of money to the snake handler.
I would imagine so.
Because he was like, you didn't tell me.
You were going to machete my pet.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're like, I don't know, a dog handler. He showed up. They're just like axing your dog's head off.
Like,
That's my boy.
the final scene of Cujo.
Fuck me. Right, yeah, I remember thinking like that looks really real. It must be like a real snake. Assuming if it was, they just got it from nearby, like in a wild one.
No, because I was reading the story and I was like, oh, okay, like that. Not that it makes it better, but maybe like Tom Savini, there was a snake and he was like, everyone come in here, we'll just do this quickly.
Yeah.
No, they actually got hold of someone and was like, could you bring us a snake?
Jesus Christ. Fuck, that's terrible, man.
Isn't it?
Right.
Fucking insane.
Anyway, then a cop shows up. Deputy Doofy.
Yeah, just as Ned is partaking a bit of cultural
Yeah,
appropriation.
Ned is screaming and shouting whilst dressed as a Native American.
Yeah, like a Native
doing
American
the whole
headdress on.
thing.
Yeah.
And a cop rides in. He instantly accuses them all of being stoned, which makes sense. But also, he's such a loser, this guy. He's like, a bunch of kids, is it? Smoking the reefer? Taking the marijuanas? I know what you kids are up to. Premarital sex? Don't get smart with me. He's like, I've never been smart, which is Ned. No, he hasn't. Yeah, he thinks he's in Dragnet.
Yeah, it's like, but he also talks like a weird stoner. He's not a real
cop. He's just a stone guy.
Yeah, he's clearly like related to the guy from fucking Sleepaway Camp. The one cop.
Yeah, the one cop in the town. But he is actually there looking for Ralph. Doomsayer Ralph.
Yes, Doomsayer
is
Ralph
on the
has gone
loose.
missing.
Yeah. Apparently Ralph's a bit of a boozer as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And weirdly married, it turns out.
Oh, yeah, is it?
Because there's a mention of his wife is really worried about him. So Doomsayer Ralph wanders around town, gets shit-faced, tells everyone they're doomed and everything else, and eventually goes home to a loving wife.
Well, how else do you expect that he produces, Doomsayer
Oh, of
children?
course, yes.
Yeah.
The Doomsayer
Carry on
family.
the bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph Doomsayer Senior.
Yeah. Later, Ralph shows up at Camp Crystal Lake. He's hiding in the pantry.
He's been stood in the pantry for hours, like just waiting for his
Any
moment.
minute they'll come in.
Yeah,
They are a patient lot, the
Yeah,
Doomsayers.
there's only fucking 6 people on this fucking campsite, and he's like, any minute now. And eventually they're making coffee or whatever, so they open it up. Like Alice opens the thing, and he's like, "You're doomed."
He goes, I am a messenger of God. You're all doomed. This place has a death curse. And then Ralph just lets himself out.
Yeah,
They don't. He just walks out.
right. Minutes before, maybe, or an hour or so before, days before, fuck knows, where they've had the whole conversation with the police has taken place outside of this shack.
Yeah.
Right. So, and Ralph just wanders out and gets on his bike, which is not hidden.
No.
It's literally
It's right
leant
down
against a tree next to where they were just stood.
Yeah.
So, like, this cop, who's clearly like a local,
Yeah.
like, is like, has anyone seen Ralph? Doesn't go, that bike's familiar. So,
Like-
yeah, Ralph is just, Ralph's not even hiding. He's like literally just going to leave the bike there,
Yeah.
just going to hide in the pantry.
Yeah, when they open up, he's just eating some Doritos. Oh, you're all doomed!
Fucking crumbs going
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's literally his whole thing. He just walks out going, you're all doomed, you're gonna fucking die. Anyway, I'll see myself out. And he just walks out and gets on his bike and rides away.
There's a bit of a bow.
Yeah. They don't call the policeman afterwards saying like,
not at all.
oh, we
So-
found him, by the way. They just,
That guy you were looking for.
yeah, they just let him go. Fuck it. Christ. Anyway, a bit later on, whilst cooking, they notice that the lights, they're not working.
Yeah.
So they go and start a generator, which kind of need to remember. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a plot point,
Yeah.
kind of.
That evening, as the sun be setting, Ned watches Kevin Bacon and Marcy from afar. They have a little flirt and a dance, and then Ned seems a bit sad
Yeah.
as this sort of, why does no one like me? It's because you're a prick, Ned.
What is it about me that people don't like? It's,
Is
it's
it the assault?
personality.
Is it the nearly killing people? Is it the pretending to die just to get attention?
Yeah.
Yes, Ned.
Everything about you.
Yeah, it's entirely you. He then spots somebody by one of the cabins.
Yeah, and decides to investigate.
Yeah, so he goes into the cabin looking for them. End of scene.
Mm.
But a storm is a brewing.
Yep.
And Marcy tells Kevin Bacon all about a dream she had of rain turning to blood.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Yeah, but also it's like, Marcy, you might need help.
Yeah,
You were
it's-
traumatized.
I've been like, it's not like, yeah, I've been scared of storms ever since I was a child. You're like, fair enough, and because what traumatic period of your life was this from? It's because I had a dream
Yeah.
where, yeah, the rain turns to blood. It's not even like it's like a taxi driver sort of thing. Like, the rain comes and washes all the scum off the street. It's like the rain turns out, and it's just like it's blood. It's like, okay, have you seen someone?
Anyway, Kevin Bacon and Marcy, they take shelter in a cabin and they bang.
Yes, they do.
Meanwhile, Alice, Bill, and the other one, Bernadette, Brenda.
Brenda. They have a guitar party.
Yep, they're all chilling by the fire. And then one of them suggests that they play Strip Monopoly.
Which must be
The
the longest strip game
Yeah, ever.
ever.
Also, I mean, you've only got so many items of clothing,
Yeah.
which is like, underwear is 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6. So it's over pretty quickly, I guess.
The rules of Monopoly don't really lend themselves to a strip game.
No, but well, they find a way somehow.
Yeah, they're like instantly. I've bought a house on this one fucking place.
Yeah.
So you have to take your boots off.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Whilst they're doing that, Kevin and Marcy, they're banging.
Yep.
But in the bunk above them where they are banging, Ned is dead.
Thankfully. But yes, he is dead above them.
After their banging session, Marcy heads off to the shitter.
Yep.
And Kevin Bacon is killed in iconic fashion.
Iconic fashion.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. This is definitely.
Probably-
It's one to remember.
Yeah, probably the most famous kill from this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Possibly this franchise.
Yeah, maybe. Well, apart from the sleeping bag.
Yeah, or the boxing match where he punches
Okay,
his
but
head off.
it's up there with Johnny Depp in the first
Yeah,
Nightmare on
yeah.
Elm Street for for memorable kills.
Yeah.
And it's not great. Like it's not done particularly well. But
No,
I
you
mean,
can
for
tell
its-
where Kevin Bacon's neck.
Yeah, it's where he ends.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was wildly uncomfortable. There was that documentary on Netflix where they talked about it, and it wasn't a particularly like comfortable scene. Like I think his head was pushed through this thing. And
yeah,
then
a
it was
weird
like the
angle.
fake body. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like constantly.
Yes, essentially a hand comes up from underneath him whilst he's lying on the bed, holds his head down, and then as Kevin Bacon's lying there, an arrow pierces through the front of his neck.
Yeah.
They've gone and got him like that.
Yeah, and the the blood sort of like, that was it. The blood as well got in his mouth, and apparently that was a bit of a
Yeah, we just scooped up all the blood from the snake earlier.
Yeah.
Using that.
squeezed it out.
Then we've got Marcy off in the toilet, and maybe I missed something, but she's like washing her face, then she's like, Ned,
Yeah,
come on, guys. What's she reacting to?
nothing. Like I was the same. Like I even round.
There's
it,
no
and I was like,
noise.
there's no noise. There's no
There's
anything.
there's no anything. She's just suddenly like, who's there? Like,
In fact,
why
I mean,
would anyone be there?
the entire scene plays out, and then it cuts to something else. But then there's like a twitch, like on the shower curtain or something, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, so there is somebody there.
Yeah. But it just seems like she's reacting to nothing.
Fuck all.
Yeah, she definitely needs help. But she doesn't get it. Instead, she gets an axe to the face.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoy this bit.
It's again
Because
quite.
I was like, I mean, it's an early slasher film. I was like, this is going to all happen off screen. Like, and I'd forgotten that you do actually see her with a big old axe in her face.
Yeah.
And I was like,
not-
cool. It's not great. Like, but it works.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's better than the more famous scene, really.
Yeah.
Practical effects.
Oh, yeah,
wise.
absolutely. Yeah, like, it does. And they proper go for it as well, because it's like in the middle of her face.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's good.
Meanwhile, over at Strip Monopoly, they decide to call it a night before anyone actually gets naked because Brenda has left the window open in her cabin.
Yes.
Which is like, oh, well, that's the evening over. Like, why don't you just go shut it and come back? Come on, Brenda.
Yeah.
But she doesn't
Get involved.
She doesn't put her
It was
clothes back
your
on.
idea. Strip
leave.
Monopoly was your idea. We're only 4 hours in.
Yeah. But she puts a rain mat over her underwear.
Yeah.
And walks out, leaving her clothes there.
Oh, yeah, she's not very good at Strip Monopoly. Also, Bill has lost like a shoe, and Alice is on the verge of
clothed.
taking off her
Shirt.
7th layer. And they're like, "Oh, Alice," and then they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, the rain's coming. I've got to go and."
Yeah. We'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Right. What a boring game. Anyway, over at a diner, but not the one from earlier, a different one.
Yeah.
Steve from earlier, he's there having a flirt with the waitress.
Who is 90 if she's a day.
Who is a older woman,
Yes.
before heading back to the lake in the storm.
Yeah.
But he breaks down in his Jeep, which looks a lot like the Jeep from earlier.
it does look like the same
Yes,
Jeep.
It does.
To the point where later on, I was like, "Is that?" No.
Yeah.
It confuses things.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is all supposed to be red hair. It's because this film's very famous, and obviously we know the ending.
Yeah.
So maybe if we'd never seen it, these are supposed to be like red herrings.
Maybe. But
But he breaks down, and a cop picks him up and drives him there. Anyway, the other one, what's her name?
Brenda.
Brenda. She gets into bed, but she hears calls for help.
Yeah,
So
somebody is watching her
Yeah.
from outside, and she's about to retire for the evening in her fucking horrendous shed.
The conditions they have to live in.
Yeah, it's Camp Crystal Lake. And again, I have to say, why? I don't understand what summer camp is.
Just to get rid of kids.
It's
basically.
horrendous. It's awful. Like fucking how. I'm assuming lots of kids die of dysentery and stuff.
Diphtheria.
All of the plague. But yeah, so somebody's watching her from and she's like, doesn't she have a candle or is it a lamp? No, it's a lamp.
Yeah.
And she's like, she goes to go to bed. Yeah, and then she hears like, help me.
Help me! Help me! Yeah, someone's making help me noises. It sounds like a child.
Yeah.
So she heads out into the woods to investigate. And she gets onto the archery range and someone turns the lights on. All the lights. They've got like floodlights on an archery range for some fucking reason.
Yeah, that's why they need a generator.
Yeah.
Just for the archery range. Nothing else.
Who's doing archery at night? Why do you need these massive nuts? Makes no sense.
The camp is hemorrhaging money.
But
And it's purely for... What, can we not do midnight archery?
Yeah, also, the cost of living in the present day, there's That's why, yeah. It's going to cost a fortune, this generator and these floodlights. Oh, yeah, we hear her scream, but we don't see her die. Alice and Bill, they decide to head out to investigate the scream. And they find a bloody axe in a different cabin on a bed.
On a bed.
And then the phones are dead. They find out the phones are dead. And Bill's car won't start. Someone is sabotaging them. Meanwhile, the cop is still driving Steve to the lake. But the cop has to kick Steve out because he's got some actual work to do.
Yeah, they're literally like... There's some sort of... I mean, Camp Crystal Lake seems like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, there's a bit of, like a massive pile-up. People are dying. Like, there's fires. And it's like, gonna have to drop you off here, Steve.
Yeah, see you later.
Fine.
I'll walk the rest of the way. So Steve, he's pretty much there.
Yeah.
Steve walks the rest of the way. He gets to the Camp Crystal Lake, the entrance, basically by the sign, and he's greeted by a torch, a flashlight.
Somebody shines a flashlight in his face.
Which kills him. Because
we're assuming so. Because, he's like, oh, hi, what are you doing here?
Yeah, just goes to camera, cuts away, that's it.
Yeah.
No more of Steve, we just assume he is killed.
Yes.
Then, it turns out the generator has been sabotaged. So the floodlights, I say sabotage. You say sabotage. The generator's been sabotaged. So I guess the water just ran out because they've had the floodlights on. So then Alice takes a nap.
Yep. She's that stressed. She has a bit of a lie down.
Yep. And Bill goes to check on the generator because he's the man.
Yep.
It's like, you just nap, woman.
Yeah.
I'll go check on that. Anyway, she wakes up. Alice then makes some tea because no urgency going on here whatsoever.
Well, I thought it was tea. Turns out it's coffee.
Oh.
I'm not sure how important that is, but for...
She boils a kettle.
She boils a kettle.
She boils a kettle in this place with no power.
I know, and this is like midnight. Don't drink coffee.
Yeah, midnight, yeah.
But anyway, there's this whole scene.
It goes on for ages.
Isn't it?
Of her just sort of
but she's
dotting around the cabin.
Like making coffee in the most dramatic fashion possible.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not even like advertising anything, just like, and then like put something in like, it's just weird.
Yeah. It goes on way too long.
Yeah.
Anyway, then she goes looking for Bill.
Yes.
Again, this goes on for fucking ages. She eventually finds Bill, and he has been arrowed to the back of the door.
And his throat is cut as well. I mean, they went all out.
Yeah. Plus, he's like a good 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So the arrows hit him that hard, he's flung at an angle.
The arrows must be this long, if they're anything. Because, to hold him up, there's one in the eye or something.
Couple in the chest.
Couple in the chest. So to hold him up on that door, they've got to be like all the way through.
Yeah.
And they're still like this far out of his body.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and he's
longbow
pinned on the door, which is like, say, there's a step down to the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Also, when the reveal comes, you're like,
yeah.
That couldn't happen.
Alice barricades herself in the cabin. She barricades herself in the cabin. This goes on for ages.
Like,
and
have you seen how she barricades herself in? Right, she ties the
everything.
Rope, she ties a rope to the fucking thing, which clearly, like, literally anyone would be like, that hasn't done anything. Then she starts grabbing furniture and she starts piling it in front of this door that clearly opens outwards.
No, I thought it opens inwards.
No, it doesn't. I went back and looked because I was like, this seems pointless.
If it opens outwards, then the only thing doing anything would be the rope, wouldn't it?
But even that isn't. It's not to the point
tied
where
to a beam.
Yeah, it's tied to a beam. So like you're just going to open that. But when like she piles all this furniture in, like so whoever's like going to turn up and be like,
furniture.
It's just some. There you go. It makes no sense.
And it takes her ages. We're watching her for ages, just throw stuff in front of the door.
Yeah.
And then Brenda's body is thrown through the window. Like, just, fuck you! Barricade the door, will you? Have a fucking corpse.
Again, when the reveal comes.
And then a Jeep arrives at camp.
Is it Steve?
Steve's Jeep? Steve's Jeep? The Jeep that Annie got in?
Maybe.
Yeah. You think, oh, who's this? It's a middle-aged woman.
It is a middle-aged woman.
Who says, I'm Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. Voorhees.
She used to work for the Christies, who are Steve's parents that went mad.
In the more interesting film we never got.
Yes. And Alice is like, oh, everyone's dead and all this shit. And Mrs. Voorhees is like, nah, I'll go have a look. Yeah.
It's fine.
And Mrs. Voorhees goes to look at a body.
Yeah, Brenda's body
Yeah,
that
it's like, oh, yeah.
was thrown through the window earlier.
And
And
then
she's
she-
like, what kind of monster could do that?
Yes. She then proceeds to tell Alice the tale of her son,
Yes.
Jason, and she has flashbacks. And basically, her son, Jason, drowned at Camp Crystal Lake in 1957
He did.
because the counselors weren't watching him.
No,
Yes.
they were fornicating.
Yes. And basically, it turns out Mrs. Voorhees fucking killed them.
Yes.
And she's killing all these people.
She's been killing everyone ever since.
Yep.
For decades.
Yep. This middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't always middle-aged, but
Yeah. How old was she in 1957? This is 1980, the present.
yes.
So, I mean, so 1950, that's
30 years
that's
earlier.
30 years before.
So she'd have been like 20,
So she's supposed to be like 70 odd.
I guess.
30, 40, 50. Well, 50. Oh, I suppose. Maybe that
Well,
fits.
she looks about, what? Let's say 60.
Yeah, okay.
So
well,
she was-
get
so
late
she-
50s.
She had Jason about a young age, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Then, yeah, she's pissed off and she is the fucking killer. Reveal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she does a whole fucking bit.
Yeah.
Where it's the only time anyone in this film acts.
It really is, yeah. Alice decks her and fucking runs off. And
Quite easily.
yes, well, I mean, she is a woman, an older woman,
Yeah.
but even
But this is an older woman that has apparently thrown an entire body through a window.
Yes.
Just moments before,
pinned
and
another
then
one up on the
ran
door.
away.
Yeah,
Got in her fucking jeep and driven back.
yeah,
Right. Also, she's murdered quite a few people.
Yeah.
Like going forward, and
all young, healthy, athletic people.
Yep.
Yep.
And managed to fucking pin Bill to the.
Door. Yep.
But yeah, she's easily decked.
Yeah.
And is this the bit where she kind of knocks and she goes like does and lands conveniently on a bed of mattresses?
Yeah.
Of all the places she could have fallen, it's just a stack of mattresses.
So Alice decks her and she runs off. She finds Annie's body, which is in the Jeep.
Yeah.
So Alice goes
That's
to
it, yeah.
take her Jeep. She opens it up and Alice's corpse is in there, which scares her so much that she runs off because she can't possibly drive
No,
with a body in there.
no.
So you just fucking kick it out and go, wouldn't you? Christ.
But then as she runs away,
Yeah.
Steve is like, "Whoa!"
His body
just
flops down from the
from
trees.
somewhere. Yeah. There's not even a tree nearby. Like,
So she strung him up as well.
yeah, she's managed to stretch. She's strong as fuck.
Except
but yeah,
for when she's on screen.
But yeah, he's just like, bro. Like it's like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so Alice runs off into the woods whilst Mrs. Voorhees is looking at her going, kill her, mommy!
Kill her,
Kill her,
mommy.
mommy!
Kill her.
Mrs. Voorhees, she restarts the generator. Don't know why. While Alice looks for bullets for a gun that she now has.
Yes.
They fight. Alice doesn't really find the bullets. She's pathetically trying to open up the safe, isn't she? With
Yeah.
the butt of the gun. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm such a woman. I'm so weak. Oh, no.
Oh, this is the bit. Yeah, she hits her with a like. She hits. It's Pamela Voorhees, isn't it? She hits her with a shovel or something, and that's when she falls into the mattresses.
Yeah.
Um,
So they fight again. Alice runs off and hides. The film really does slow right down here. All of this takes like half an hour.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. They fight some more, and yeah, the whole time you're just thinking, how did Mrs. Voorhees kill anybody? Because she's weak as shit.
Just she's literally rubbish.
Yeah, this is like the worst. This is not Batman versus Superman.
No.
It's just the most like.
It makes absolute sense that after this film, they was like, this isn't going to work again. I mean, it's a fun reveal. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Also, this is like on the list of like ridiculous fucking things that anybody ever does in a horror movie. This is way up there. With Alice runs into the very first house she was in the first place and hides in the only fucking obvious hiding place in the pantry where Ralph was.
Yeah.
Like before, like as if you're not going to be like, there you are.
So yeah, the fight goes on for ages, and then eventually Alice machetes Mrs. Voorhees' head clean off, And as her head has been severed, she stands there with man hands, as blood, with Tom Savini's hands, as blood shoots out of where her head was. It's clearly a bloke's hands.
Yeah,
Who
entirely.
was it? Tom Savini?
No, I don't think it was Tom Savini. It was one of the crew.
Yeah.
Like, it's on that Netflix documentary is really good, by the way. Like,
Yeah, the
it's
movies that
much
made
more
us.
fun than this film.
Yeah.
Movies that made us. Yeah, and they tell you all about this kind of thing. Yeah, but it's one of the crew or whatever, and it's like quite obviously a man's hands.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, we kind of just hope nobody would notice. And
But then HD came along, and now everyone can see the hair on his hands. Alice, after killing Mrs. Voorhees, then decides to get in a boat and head out onto the lake.
for no reason,
Why? Why? Go home!
leave,
Yeah.
you idiot. Why? Yeah, why are you like? Oh, I've just survived a massively traumatic fucking period of my life. Can I have a bit of a
The sail.
lazy
Just float around.
sail like
Yeah,
around
out on the lake.
Camp Crystal Lake?
The next morning, she wakes up in the boat,
Yeah.
and everything seems fine. And she's, it's all nice little music.
Well, the police turn up, don't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what that was. The police turn up and they're like there's music playing, so you
Yeah.
can't really hear, but they're like clearly like, "Oi, dickhead, what are you doing in a canoe?" And then she's like looks up and it's all seems safe and everything, and then Jason appears,
Yeah. Pops up out of the water.
which is, I have to say, the best moment in this entire film.
Yeah.
But he dives out of the water and he grabs hold of it and he
Drags her into
drags
the
her
lake.
into the lake.
Yes.
And that
Is where it should have
is
ended.
where it should have ended.
It should have ended. That's definitely where the film should have ended.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Alice then wakes up in hospital. Then it's the end.
What did she wakes up in the hospital? And this is a clear attempt. I mean, I firmly believe, I don't know if it mentions it in the documentary or not, but I firmly believe that originally this is where that film ended. But that they've added a bit where there was like, there's franchise possibilities here. There's definitely a sequel possibility. So they do this whole thing where she wakes up in the hospital, and they're like, and she's like, "Where's the boy?
Yeah.
What, the boy that fucking tried to murder you? Like the supernatural being that dragged you under the water?" And they're like, "There was no boy." And she's like, "But he must still be there.
Oh, well.
Come back for part 2. It's nonsense.
Join us next year for part 2.
Jason lives.
Oh, God. Yeah, it should have ended with Jason pulling her in. And also, but that surprise thing, that's just taken from Carrie.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Was Carrie before this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
78 or 79.
Yeah.
And I think Brian De Palma was asked about this. And he's like, "Oh, yes." As I said, like, it kind of ripped off Carrie. He's like, yeah, but it's still good.
Yeah.
But I did see it coming.
Yeah.
So in the cinema, everyone's jumping up and Brian De Palma's there like, yeah.
The only one. Because I've got to be honest, it doesn't fit in with the rest of the film.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, it's an amazing. It's the best part of the film. Like the whole reveal. I mean, like once you've got over it's Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and if you stop to think about it for a second, that reveal makes no sense.
No.
It's not possible. There's no way she could accomplish all of those things on her own.
No.
So
Well, maybe she wasn't working
maybe
alone.
Jason was with her.
Maybe.
But again, that doesn't make sense because that should have been then.
They didn't have the budget for Jason.
No, just that one bloke who spent the entire shoot underwater. That's why he looks like that.
Christ. Right. What do we think?
I don't hate it. Like, it's Friday the 13th. I enjoy. See, they're not good films.
No.
The franchise is,
Weak.
let's be honest, garbage.
But some people love it.
I know, like,
It's diehard fans. And I don't get it because, and I've said this before many times, it's a lot of franchises start off fantastic and get shit.
yeah,
Like, when I say fantastic, I mean like genuinely good cinema. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream.
yeah,
This never started off good.
no.
Saw, the first Saw is amazing.
It's the best one of the entire
I
lot.
think it's a great film. But this never started off strong.
Mm.
And it just got shitter and shitter. But again, I don't hate them, but they're not good. It's trash.
See, I like Jason, the concept of Jason. Like, I've always thought was a fantastic, like, villain or like slasher monster, whether you like I mean it's why I never really like the reboots and stuff, because like the point of Jason is like he's this nonsensical fucking being that just kills.
Yeah.
And there's like he's just pure like hate and anger and everything else like personified. So I like that. But then this original film is like the whole reveal is like yeah. Like, so I like where it went afterwards, but then they're not good films. Like, the reason I like them is they are trash.
Yeah, it's some trash you can just put on, and it's just like,
Yeah,
that's it.
it's literally Jason just killing people for no reason and coming back to life
And they,
for no reason.
They only made them because they kept making money.
Yeah, but I mean, we know where this came from. It was like the next big, like after Halloween, it was the next big slasher movie.
Yeah, basically.
And it opened up this whole fucking genre, like almost like, whereas Halloween started it, Friday the 13th was the next one to come along, and then it gave birth to all the like Nightmare on Elm Street and
a
whole
Sleepaway
which
Camp,
I'm thankful for,
which is
because
better.
yeah. Oh, Sleepaway Camp, we've done this.
Yeah.
Like Sleepaway Camp is this movie,
but better.
but better.
More interesting characters.
Yeah, everything about it is more interesting. Like, and the reveal is better.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, don't hate it, but certainly it's not a good film.
No,
It's fun trash.
yeah, not.
Yeah.
And watching it again, it doesn't. People, I'm gonna get hate for this. It doesn't deserve the reverence that it gets.
No,
It's not that much fun.
no.
It's quite boring.
I watched this actually quite late. I'll say late last night, late for me, but yeah, I struggled
Yeah,
because I've seen it a bunch of times, and I was just like, oh, that's why my notes got really vague at the end. It's like, they fight. I was just like, oh, fucking hell. I struggled to get through it, and it does slow right the fuck down and last 30 minutes.
yeah.
Because when you're like, oh, this must be near the end. How's there half an hour left?
Yeah, I was as soon as the reveal comes where it's Pamela Voorhees, I was like, oh, thank God.
It'll be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I paused
No,
it
it
to go and,
won't.
like, I don't know, make a cup of tea or something. But like I paused it and I was like, oh my God, there's ages. Like, but yeah, I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Like, Jason Voorhees is a great character. I enjoy Jason Voorhees, but it's not a good. It's not a great film.
No, not at all. Some trivia for this movie. The budget of this, $550,000. It grossed, are you ready?
Go on.
39.7 million.
Wow.
That is some bang for your buck. Yeah.
So there you go. That birthed the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. They kept making money, so they kept making them.
Yeah.
And we are going to do all of these over the course of
Not in order.
our
Apparently,
lives.
we've done
Well,
Jason X a while back.
We did Jason X before we were on like YouTube. There is a Jason X.
Yeah.
We did
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Now we're doing one, and from now on we will do them in order of what's left of them. Yeah, they made.
Are we going to do Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah. But they made a lot of these, and they kept making money. And when I say they just kept making year after year after year.
Yeah.
Every year there was one of these.
Is it Dimension that own it? Or no, New
Dimension.
Line. Is it New Line? I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah.
No,
obviously.
this was Paramount.
Is it Paramount?
It was eventually. We'll get to it, but it was sold at one point.
Right. God, yeah. There's that whole thing. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Trivia. It was filmed at Camp Nobi Boshko in New Jersey. The camp is still in operation today and has a wall of Friday the 13th memorabilia.
All right. I mean, I'd go.
What? You're not a child.
I didn't say it wouldn't be weird. I just said I'd go.
Oh, Christ. Betsy Palmer only did this movie because she was in desperate need of a new car.
Yeah.
And called it a piece of shit.
Yep.
However, over the years, she did warm to it and started appearing at conventions, quite possibly because she needed another new car.
Yeah, she was not a fan. Again, that documentary on Netflix is worth watching. It goes into that in quite like detail about how much she originally hated it. But yeah, as it went on, she quite liked the attention it garnered.
Some of the crew, including Tom Savini, stayed on location at the camp during filming. Their only entertainment was a VCR player and 2 tapes. Barbarella and Marathon Man.
Okay.
I mean, Yeah, you don't want to watch Marathon Man over and over again, do you?
No, I mean,
so,
that's a dark
Barbarella
film.
would probably just be like what you stick on. Apparently, Tom Savini says he can quote those movies like verbatim
I'm not
to this
surprised.
day.
I mean,
he
yeah,
watched them so much.
I don't know how long the shoot was, but if you've got 2 films to watch,
A month.
yeah, I mean, there must have been other things to do, surely. But
Well,
snake
work.
killing.
Murder people's pet snakes in front of them. Lou Reed owned a farm nearby,
Right.
and he dropped by and he played a set for the crew.
Oh, that must have been a perfect day.
Yay! The only part of the set that was built was the toilets.
Yes.
Only one of them actually worked.
Again, on that documentary, they talk about that, how they weren't functioning in toilets, but somebody apparently took a massive shit in one of them.
Some people still use the ones that didn't work.
Yeah.
Sean S. Cunningham, he got funding for this based solely on the title shot of the Friday the 13th smashing through the glass.
Yeah.
He had no script or even a story. But he was confident, and it worked.
Yeah.
He said, just the name, just the title Friday the 13th will get us money. And it did.
It's a really fucking intriguing story. I got and he talks about it quite candidly on that thing, where he's like, yeah, literally, I know he'd seen Halloween.
Yeah. They admit they just ripped it off.
Yeah, and it was like, we're going to do this, and they had that whole like thing, and he was like, yeah, so this is the movie, and they're like, what is it? No, this is the movie.
Yeah. This is the title. It's going to cost this much. Okay. Sally Field was offered the role of Alice, but turned it down.
Sally Field,
Yeah. And the 2 Jeeps in the film
right?
are the same Jeep.
See,
But it's not supposed to be.
no,
It's just they didn't have any money. I think they swapped the tops, hard top and soft top.
Yeah.
But it's the same Jeep.
fuck me. I mean, I know it's a low budget.
But come on.
Yeah.
Comments. Did you get any?
I didn't really get any. I've just thrown my phone over there. I did get one that was like, add me and I'll publicise your YouTube channel. I think that was it.
Did you?
No, I didn't. Because it's some guy in like fucking darkest Africa.
I got a couple.
I was surprised actually that I didn't get a couple because obviously this is a very well known film.
Yeah. So fuck all of you. My Little Slice of Hell Network, a great film with a twist that will knock your head off. A good start to a good start to a spotty series. Yeah, spotty.
Correct.
Then I have from Stark 2490 a 3-parter comment.
Oh wow, went in.
Wow. First, not so great. Sequels, love them. Much prefer Jason as the killer, not Mrs. Voorhees. Yeah. Heard somewhere it might have been better if Pam was the main character throughout, so it would be more suspenseful when revealed she's the killer. Nah.
No, I don't. Yeah,
Jason's
I think that would have been
definitely more interesting.
all right.
I think we stopped recording for a minute.
Have we?
Yeah, no, we are.
Oh,
We're
we're good.
going again now. Well, I don't know. Anyway, well, that's the end anyway.
Fuck your comments.
Well, I think we just got the comments in, but it was a technical issue there. Well, that's it. Yeah, bye. If you like that, leave a
Yeah.
like. Comment your thoughts on Friday the 13th, part uno.
Yes.
And
Thanks for coming.
bye.
Well, thank you all for coming here tonight and drinking all of my booze. No, really. Please leave. The party's over. Get out.